Okay, this is Lunenburg Water District meeting, November 29th. We're gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. Jeez, you get me, John.
Hey, you're such in a race to say it.
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys
I'm wondering whether I'm saying it right, John. You're not
We'll
helping.
get it printed out for you.
Yeah, we'll put it on the wall over there.
There we
so
go.
you can Get it.
All right, so number one item, we have minutes of November 8th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 8th.
Okay, I was not here, I cannot vote, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Review and sign warrants, we went through all that. Any questions on any of the warrants?
No, not for me.
Okay. Everybody got them all? Yep.
Just check. There was one extra. One, two. Okay. I'll do it.
Okay. And now we have a discussion with resident of 35 Beachview regarding repairs of a leak at the service line. Is somebody here for 35 Beachview?
You want to just slide your chair?
You can slide up and, yep, just give us your name and address and we'll get going.
Brian Sanderson, 35 Beachview Road.
So, do you want to give it?
He had a leak, okay?
Yeah.
So he had called, I never spoke to him, but I know Lisa and Christy did, and I overheard all the conversation and stuff. So I didn't get where it got confusing at all. I know he wanted to fix it on the weekend, and we have to pay the guys overtime to come and inspect it. So it came out that, if it's on the weekend, then we'd have to charge fees to be reimbursed for it. So we didn't know where it was going. Time was going by. We don't usually like leaks going too long. So I sent Terry down there to, see if he could talk to him and see, what's the status, can we get this thing going? And then that's what Terry said, the leak's been fixed. So then we got into how, and then, so I asked for pictures, emails went back and forth. So he sent the pictures. The only thing that concerns me with this is we've never had anybody do repairs on their own and where we haven't seen it. Things could happen because of a repair. If someone doesn't know what they're doing, they get dirty water in there that's actually could contaminate backwards, wreck the meter, contaminate, the house. I'm not saying any of that took place. I'm just stuff that we like to oversee, that's all.
And is that the gate valve on top?
That's all. No one's allowed to operate any of our valves. That's our valve. So that's just one of the other things. I don't want the thing we need to make clear is this doesn't ever happen again.
Which side of this is the house on? This side?
The leak was on his side. If it was on our side, we would have fixed it for free.
Yeah, but I'm just saying right here now, which way is this line? Is the house over here or the house over here?
Show him
on
the
this?
picture here.
Yeah, these were pictures.
Yeah, which way is the house in orientation of that picture?
I believe this is the house that way.
Okay. Because I've never seen
And I'm assuming that this is the house this way as well.
Yep.
I never seen a curb stop. Is that a flare fitting on there?
No, that's my only concern. That's why I brought.
Because that's a flare nut by the looks.
No,
No?
That's a McDonald nut. I believe it's a McDonald on a Ford curb stop.
And it's a compression fitting.
Yeah, that's why I brought these out. Totally different compression fittings. This is similar to the one there. We don't use McDonald. I don't like McDonald. But I'm not saying that.
Is that one that locks down tight?
This one locks down tight.
Okay.
That's not a lockdown curb stop. The nut he put on is a lockdown tight nut. And this one is what was on there. And if you see these other pictures.
With the screw on it, with the screwdriver?
Yeah, so if we did that repair, we wouldn't have changed the nut, we would have just swapped the rubber. Because if you look at the rubbers,
You couldn't just swap it out because there was, the nut wasn't the problem. Right past where it was my responsibility, there was two holes right past the nut, so you couldn't just change the nut out. We had to cut it and.
so the nut is fine, you just change the guts and you reuse the
It
nut.
was too close. it was too close to the nut to do anything with that. We had to
For
put a
you,
section.
not for us. That would be a
Well,
problem.
you told me it was my response. I'm not trying to cause waves here, but when I was told it's my responsibility to fix it, that's my responsibility.
Well,
Yeah, I turned the gate valve, but obviously I had to do that to fix the problem. And I don't have all this extra money to pay $180 an hour for somebody to come out and watch me do work. And then I fix it properly. The guy that helped me fix it also works, so I can't do it during the week, which I was told, why don't you just do it during the week? And it's like, well, I have a job. And they said it would be $90 an hour. I still don't have that. You know, I was told it was my responsibility. If there was an issue, I fixed this, I don't know, a month ago, then we would see another leak. But those fittings were provided to me, and they worked. So there was no water in the line. I took care of that when we took it apart, that everything was out of the water, and I fixed it, which I was told was my responsibility. So I just don't see what the huge issue is here when I have to fix it.
Typically, when a repair is made, it's by a contractor that does this, works for us.
Yeah,
So if
which
you hired-
costs
if you hired
$3,000, $4,000.
No.
what do you think,
$600.
what do you think it would've cost you if your digger had pulled that pipe out of the main in the street?
Well, the guy that dug it has done this before, so.
Well,
I wasn't
a
in-
lot of
wasn't
guys
a
have
con-
done things before that
Wasn't
have
a
pulled
concern
pipes
for
out.
me to dig the hole.
So, from obviously, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, I'm not, and you do it. I think we're all on the
Zero money.
same page of like, obviously, you're just trying to fix the line. But you got to understand from our end too that this entire, not just your line, this entire system is our problem, maintenance responsibility. And you know, the reason why there's contractors out there to do it, it's not so they can make money. It's because they are approved by us, as we know that they are competent people that can do it. I'm not saying you're not competent or anything like that, but we have a list, just like if you did any other job in town, a sewer tie-in, a septic system, everything, there's a list of contractors that are approved to do this type of work.
But it's my responsibility.
I think when somebody told you it was your responsibility to get somebody to fix it.
Cover the cost
Well,
of repair.
Yeah.
when you look at a repair, and let's set this aside. If I do something in my house, it's my responsibility to get the work done. But it's also my responsibility, if I have something done, to have an electrical inspector, a plumbing inspector, or the building inspector inspect that work to make sure it was done properly. So, you know, that's one of the, you know, the things that we do to make sure that down the road, something doesn't happen. One of my questions for you, Fran, when somebody does a repair, or when somebody puts a line in, what is the mechanism we have for them to use parts like ours? Do we recommend? Do people use? Because it sounds like there's a different fitting in this than what we would use.
Well, typically I mean, all the fittings are good. I mean,
Okay.
McDonald's, we had problems with McDonald's years ago, the new stuff isn't a problem, but so I don't really have McDonald's, but he used it, and I don't have a problem with it. I mean, there's Ford, if you go to Pipe Plus, it's Cambridge. I would say Ford is the most typical. If you go to Bay State, it's Mueller, all good stuff. You know, there's no problem, but they all go to their own little thing. You know, you don't stick a Ford fitting on a Mueller, because that won't work. So you don't usually intermatch the brass. So I mean, if you got a Ford ball valve, you do use a Ford fitting. So we have all the rubber for the Ford and different kinds of rubber. I mean, if that was a McDonald, we don't have any McDonald brass, so that would be tough to fix. So we probably would have maybe matched up rubbers. A lot of the rubbers are the same. Some of the Cambridge are the same inside. I mean, as long as they match up. The problem with that one is I don't know what a McDonald rubber looks like, but if you look at the type of nut they used versus the nut that was on it, everything's different. The brass, where it goes, is different. The design of the rubber is different. So
The bevel on these.
the bevel,
Right.
yes. So this one's steep cut because it's a steep cut gasket. So things are different. So did it work? I don't know, like we just fixed a leak. We made a giant mess because that little drip, and unacceptable. Did that drip? I have no idea. I can't tell. Did it, if it dripped for them and they saw a drip, and you're never gonna see a drip, it's not gonna leak and come out where you're gonna see it.
Not a
So, where someone else wouldn't care, I mean, if I'm not there watching this drip, you're gonna see it. Well, I care about the drip.
Right.
You know?
Well,
Yeah, any,
I care about the drip as well. I didn't just fix it, fill it in and be done. We made
think
sure the
what's-
pressure was coming in. We waited and nothing dripped. So we're like, everything's good. That's,
I think just what started most of this, while the questions with Fran and I having the conversations, is that I understand what you were saying, that you were trying to save money and do this. But I think the difference is that you and I personally had multiple phone calls. And I explained to you multiple times that it had to be inspected. And I think that's where the frustration came out afterwards, was there was no, well, if we do it ourselves, what parts do we need? What fittings do we need? That's the whole point of why I explained to you that somebody has to inspect it. If you had the hole dug and ready, our guy could come by and go, yeah, this is great. And he could say, yep, that's the fitting you're gonna need. So that was explained multiple times. So to not even have a phone call to say, hey, it's done and it's fixed, you did it, you backfilled it, you didn't even tell us, and our guy had to go. So I think that's just where the frustration came. And then that's where a lot of this came, was, well, we never got to see it. We need pictures, we need everything. So then it wasn't just a decision between us, it then had to go to the board.
So some things about that, not necessarily with anything that he did. One of the things that concerns me is that soil is corrosive. That copper's not that old.
Right.
Why did it?
is that why it's green?
No, copper's always green.
Okay.
Ash, if
So
there's ash in
if
it,
you saw like it corroded, how did it corrode?
Oh, it corroded and caused a leak.
Yes, yeah, corroded right near the fitting.
I don't know if it was corrosion or if it was rubbing. I don't know. There was two small holes. The old nut, there was two small holes literally that far behind the thing. So I don't know if it was rubbed when someone did something
Right.
before, or if it just corroded away, but, you know, the rest of this pipe all the way to the house was, you
Did it
know,
look good
it
after the
looked
leak?
this whole piece, because we dug, like, there was at least 6 feet of the pipe going to the house that was exposed, obviously, because we had to maneuver it a little bit to fit it back into what we replaced. So I understand the frustration, and, you know, I'm not gonna say that I didn't get frustrated, but I took it as my responsibility, I fix it. That's plain and simple how I took it. If it's my responsibility, I fixed it. You know, I can't
Right.
afford $180 or even $90 an hour. You know, I mean, I have, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and have a sob story about
Right.
my pay, but when I heard my responsibility, okay, I'm gonna fix it.
But
If it was
it's,
during a weekday, we wouldn't have charged them.
Okay.
But that's not what I was told.
okay.
It was only because you wanted the weekend, that's why. that was
No,
the-
I was told it would be $90 an hour for a weekday and $180 for a weekend. That's exactly what I was told.
90 would
No.
probably be if they did any
If they
service.
did if we did the service for you.
Yeah, we could have fixed it for $90 an hour.
Yeah.
I was told $90 an hour for someone to just be there.
Okay.
Because yeah.
So,
But you were also told that it needs to get inspected.
yeah, I mean, even though you're responsible for something, the fact that something needs to be inspected, and the reason that you have building inspectors, electrical inspectors, the reason we inspect things is because of cross-contamination issues, being able to give you the simple advice of, hey, this line failed due to something that we can change and make it better. And be able to check the integrity of the install. I can't tell by your pictures, other than, you know, and I'm not saying that it doesn't leak, but I can't tell from the pictures whether this has a slow drip or not. You know, having two different types of fittings do that connection, whether that held for that moment, is it gonna continue to hold using two differently manufactured fittings? So it's,
Well, those fittings are the same.
There's some differences to them, and that's, and.
Well, the
and,
fittings I
you know,
put on are the same.
Okay, and I'm not saying that it doesn't leak or anything, but there's a reason that we need to be able to inspect these things, and the list of what I went down, you know, I don't think we have a mechanism, for this, but I think we should, because if something happens down the road due to an improper repair or something that we didn't inspect, you know, it's not just your water supply, because this goes into everybody else's water supply. That's where the contamination could happen. If there is a fire down the street and they're drawing off a hydrant, they're sucking the water out of your house. And if there is a leak going in, then they're sucking that contamination back through the line and putting it into the line that goes to all your neighbors' houses. So cross-contamination is a huge thing that we want to be concerned about, because it's a life safety and health issue.
I guess the only thing that really bothers me is it was told to have it inspected and it wasn't. I mean, if it was inspected, I don't think I would have a problem, because if it leaks again, we're gonna have to fix it next time and he's gonna have to pay us.
Well,
But
we can't make somebody, I don't think we have a mechanism to make somebody hire us to repair
No, but
after the gate valve.
could have hired somebody that knows, not that he doesn't know. I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing. It's just that we don't know you don't know what you're doing. So that's why we've got a list of people that we hire to go in there and,
I get it. I have a lot of
You know-
friends that know how to do shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's.
But if you got a-
I got a neighborhood full of people that know how to do stuff.
Like I say, and I'm not, you know, I get it. No one
get
here
it
is
too.
saying that you can't fix it yourself. We just need to put our eyes on and being like, good. Just like any other job that will get done on your home or in town.
yeah.
Fire away, man. I'm with you.
I mean, if you got a gas leak in your front yard, you don't dig it up yourself.
You know, I mean, that's
That's a little extreme, but.
Well,
yeah,
I'm just
it's
saying, everything has gotta be looked at and inspected by the company that's involved. Gas, sewer, water,
Plumbing,
electrical,
electrical.
everything.
I mean, no one's trying to get money out of you. We just need to make sure it was done and done correctly.
What's gonna happen next time?
Well, that's
What
why.
are we gonna do next time?
You know?
Well, that's why you're supposed to call us. And be like, hey, come take a look.
I mean, I understand I really do. I understand what everybody's saying. It's just, I had a guy for a day with a machine, and it was only the day. So I had to do my repair that I was told to do, and
And get it inspected.
And put it. I'm not gonna say that's
Yeah.
my bad.
Even to leave
I
it,
think it
leave it
was because
open
of
and call us.
The frustration with me, the frustration with you all, and, you know, I just got it done. is
Yeah,
what
you
it
kinda went
got
down the wrong road. So I think in this one, is it days that people aren't home all day?
I'm not home all day every day.
Alright, so I mean, we could go down there and say 8 o'clock in the morning, shut the curb stop off. Assuming nothing's leaking in the house, there's no water use, because we can't hear a leak. If we
Right.
go there, shut the water off, let it wait 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is, and listen to it with a high-tech thing, crack the valve. If we hear psh, then there's a leak.
So you're
we can-
saying shut the water off at the meter.
No, right at the curb stop.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if
but-
he did the meter, maybe we'll make a day with.
In order to determine whether there's a leak or not, I would shut it off at the meter in the house, or shut it off at the valve in the house, shut it off at the curb stop.
Yep.
And then give it a time frame, turn the curb stop on, and that will tell you if there is a leak between the house and the curb stop, correct?
Yeah, and, yeah, my gut feeling is it's okay. I mean, I
Okay.
don't know if guys even wanna do that, but we don't have to. My only concern is we got squash this one.
Now,
Shy of not doing something like that, just to determine that this is, you know, that's the only thing that we can do to test this, to make sure that this repair is
Yeah,
done.
otherwise, other than dig it up, which I don't.
Right, and I don't wanna dig it up either.
the other thing, if it does leak, it's on our side of the meter.
His side.
His.
His side of the meter.
No, if it does leak, it's on
Oh,
our, it's on our side of the meter, we're losing water.
Yeah. correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah, it
meant.
doesn't run
Right.
through his
Yeah,
meter.
So
but
that's
it's
the
still-
concern, is if one of these
Well, that's what
is a,
happened.
right,
That water wasn't going through the meter.
Right.
It was just coming up.
right. And it, I'm not saying we don't have leaks everywhere that are, we don't have leaks everywhere, but as we find them, we're repairing them, because loss of water is something that, you know, we really want to try to prevent.
Absolutely, right.
So
All
I
right,
would, I would be
let's-
open to something along those lines, and then
Yeah.
I mean, we
if
could,
there's something
if we can
found.
just watch it for a while, see if there's any wet spot, we'll get his number, if we see, hey, there's a question here, then we call him and say, let's do a test.
I was just talking to my buddy that helped me. I check the ground every day, because it's still, I
Yeah.
haven't done anything with the grade in it yet.
But if it had a slow drip, you'll never find that.
Right, but that's kind of, I mean, I don't, like I said, the holes weren't that big, so I don't know how.
It's under pressure,
It just
that's
kept
why.
coming, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Don't recommend your neighbors fix their own water.
Yeah. Well,
No,
or
fix your own water.
there
Just
could
have
be,
us
there could be another way, it just, yeah, it needs to be inspected, and I think Fran has kind of stated that yes, it may have worked, but using unlike parts together, isn't recommended.
If we inspected that, I would've made him pull it out. That was not gonna
okay,
pass.
so,
No way. No, I don't care what town you're in, they would not pass that.
yeah,
That
so,
kinda concerns me, because whoever did do that doesn't know what he thinks they know. No, he didn't do it, his buddy.
Who got you the fittings? I mean, not, I don't care who got
Yeah,
you the
that-
fittings.
don't
Where
ask
did the
them.
fittings come
so
from?
It doesn't, I think.
I mean, they come from a-
We can,
it
we
came
can,
from someone that does that type.
we can play tennis
Okay,
with
but
this
he
back
went and got them somewhere.
There
Yeah.
at his house.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Let's-
Because I mean, if he went to Pipe Plus and got them,
He has them, because he does this for.
does, right.
Once again, we can go play tennis, but what do we want to do about it?
yeah.
I think we should watch it. I think we should almost consider either, at some point,
I would personally.
in the near future or in the spring, that we do a pressure check on it and do it that simple way, that if there is a leak.
I would like to do the way the Fran's talked about. Let's
Shut it off.
one morning, we'll coordinate with you.
Well,
This
I'm
is a-
off every Friday until,
Okay, well, I mean, we can do it on a day, you know, because we, you know, you're
Yeah,
not gonna
I
have
don't
water
when
for
you're not
that.
around, not there.
Yeah.
Then maybe we do a day.
but do you have to do something with the water meter?
If you turn it off
if you-
inside,
Oh,
call
yeah,
me
you're-
and send
so
me,
in
I'm
other
out of
words,
here
You're
for
going
the
to
day.
work, shut the valve off.
Shut the
heat it
valve
up.
off,
We'll do the
and
test.
then we'll go out there and we're gonna shut the curb stop off, and at the end of the day, before you come home, so it's the time you can come home, we'll come over right at the end of the day, crack that thing back open, if we don't hear anything, good to go.
Yeah.
If it, like, we know there's a, you know, that, so, I would like to
That-
do
that would
that.
definitely work.
And then that's a pretty,
So you're saying,
one morning.
close it
we give
when
me-
I leave,
We're gonna quarter, we'll call you,
Okay. And
before you
then-
leave for work, close it.
and then
When you come
We'll
home from
shut.
work,
just open it?
just open it up.
That's the ball
Yeah,
I don't
valve.
have to call you when I.
No. So you're gonna close when you go to work. We're gonna come in and say, you go to work early.
Well, right now, I don't leave my house till like 8.
That's fine.
So we'll come at 9 o'clock, whatever. We'll shut the water off and we'll shut off till say 2 in the afternoon. You know, you shut your meter off before you go to work. The only thing live is that line. We test it.
Yep,
Yeah.
and we'll turn it back on at 2. We don't have everything. When you get back home at whatever time, past 2,
Yeah.
turn your water on,
Yeah,
you're good to go.
So that'll be good. That makes no expenses to you. We won't charge for any of this anyway. And then,
We have just a little reassurance.
yeah, a little
that-
comfort. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
and then keep an eye on it after that, if, you know, if it
Yeah, like I
passes, if
said,
it passes that.
You know, I walk down to the mailbox every day and I look and. it's the
Okay.
same.
So not to say that anything was wrong, but like if we did see corrosion, there's corrosive soils all over Laurinburg. So some spots eat copper like crazy.
Yeah.
So we would, and sometimes the electrical current, like if the ground is bad in the house, that'll go and usually go to those fittings and destroy right at the fitting. So that's where we usually put a piece of plastic in there.
Yeah, the
just to
house was
stop that.
remodeled in 2019, so.
Right, there's a million different ways.
I'm not saying that
No,
whoever
no.
did the plumbing grounded it properly, but
But yeah,
I'm
you
just
never know.
saying it was remodeled, the whole meter and everything's brand new.
Do we
Okay.
want to pick a day right now to do this, since we're all here?
Or coordinate with
Definitely not on
Fran.
Friday. So you wanna just, yeah, why don't we pick a day?
We'll just
Wanna
pick a
say
day
like
right now.
Tuesday, next Tuesday?
Sure.
Tuesday.
If you can,
Yep, I'll call you.
remind me.
Yep.
She's gonna have to remind me too.
I'm gonna write it down now. I'll call you Monday night. I'll call you next Monday.
Okay.
Remind you Tuesday morning or
Yeah.
Tuesday morning.
Shut the ball valve off in the cellar.
Yep, so I gotta do.
Okay.
All
So
right.
what's that?
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
this will be the best,
Yeah.
everybody's happy, so.
All right.
Tuesday
I
the
appreciate it,
5th.
guys.
Or
All right,
fifth.
thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night.
Not that we need to do this now, but I think in lieu of this, along with this, that maybe we have to have,
An active fine for doing this?
check our regulations.
Yeah.
Make sure we have a regulation for repairs after the ball valve, requiring inspections.
You mean before the
and-
ball valve.
And fine.
After the ball valve was the house.
Yeah, any repairs, we have to figure out something that, because he was a little, it seemed like there could have been a little bit of confusion on whether it's chargeable during the weekday or not. It's possible. So,
But we
make,
could clearly state that if we do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And someone call, hey, I got a leak, here's the regulation.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, this is how you go about fixing it. It's not saying
Yeah.
you can't fix it
And-
yourself, you just need to be
Yeah.
inspected
And
by it.
fines or penalties if they don't, because this has
Right.
gotta be taken seriously, because if we have people running around fixing all their own water lines,
Well, yes, I
could
think
have-
we should.
we could
Next
have
time
some
somebody
serious
calls and says, don't tell them it's their responsibility. Tell them they gotta hire a contractor.
Well,
No,
I mean, it kind of all was. I mean, it was.
You can't really say that because people have the right, and they can, by all, look, if my line broke, I'm not on your
You
list.
don't have
I'm
the
gonna-
right to pick your own electric. You
Yes, I
want-
do. As a homeowner, I
Yes.
absolutely do.
it just needs to be
It just needs to be
inspected.
inspected. 100%.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It wasn't,
Well, I'm saying he had every right to fix the line himself. He did everything right with the except if he needed to have us come out and look and be like, dude, good, where's your sand to backfill this?
Yep.
Not, and if Brandon would've went out there and been like, dude, you can't use that fitting with this because we've had
And
problems.
here you go. This is the one I want.
Right, you know what I mean? So I think that's, we don't have to say you have to hire a contractor. If you have the capability of doing it yourself.
Right.
You wanna dig it up with the shovel, I mean, have at it. You
Yeah.
just need to inspect
he
it.
didn't dig it up with a shovel though. What if the guy grabbed the curb stop there and pulled it out of the main?
Then he's liable.
He's responsible for those
Well,
damages.
that's what I'm saying. We gotta let them know that if you dig it up yourself and you wanna fix it and you do any damage
can
beyond
be
what's
part of it,
supposed to
too.
be done,
Any
then you're
damages
gonna
that
pay to get
incur
it
from
fixed.
this.
Our regulations kind of go into that a
Yeah.
little bit, but
Just
they
like-
don't go into the specific detail of a service leak,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, or.
But see, they don't know that. They don't know if he digs the thing up and yanks it out of the main, who's gonna fix it, or what's gonna happen to it, and probably just walk away.
And that could be part of the regulation.
Yeah.
If you do any damage to the system beyond this point, you are responsible for all the
That-
costs and repairs
That's the thing I'm
associated with
thinking
it.
about, is
And that's
damage
where,
some-
that's where I'm
beyond.
thinking a regulation on repairs, if we don't already have something under our rules and regs, that we need to have something in there to cover us so that this doesn't happen again.
We have a list of people that are like authorized repair, like Bob Proctor or something. Or
It's
not.
a general list, but it's not a only list.
Okay.
Typically, because we inspect. I don't care, kind of on the line you go.
Right.
I don't care. Dave Rogers digs up his line
Right.
and fixes it. If I'm watching him, he fixed it.
I care, I'm not gonna let him do
Well, but we don't like, can't let a bond, for example, like other, and that's what that bond would be for, is like if a contractor ripped out, pulled the curb stuff off while he did it, that's, so, I like to be a DIY type of community, which I think a lot of people around. I understand exactly what he did. If I was in that case, I'd be like, Seth, you're gonna come over here and we're gonna put,
Yeah.
we're gonna fix our line. You know what I'm saying?
But you gotta have it in, you gotta have it
We got to
inspected.
have it in writing that it must be inspected, and if you fail to do so, then, you can be fined $10,000.
You could be
Yeah.
fined,
Yeah.
we could redig it up. I
Right.
mean, have whatever the options may be if they don't follow the process,
Right.
because you don't want everybody.
Right. We can't have that happen.
Everybody has good
This-
intentions, but we don't wanna have any problems with our
This is the second
line.
one down on Hickory Hills that we've had this problem.
Well, we need to, let's add that to the
And matter of
list.
fact, I think it's on the same street, pretty close, ain't it?
So it could be corrosive soils on that street, or it could be a bad electrician.
Or it could be a guy that wants to dig it up himself.
Maybe he rented a Mini from Mackie and you want to play. I don't know.
No,
But
he has said
that's
it's-
none of our business. It's just
Right.
make sure we do it that right. Okay.
We need to
We'll do
make
a
sure we
regulation.
inspect them.
We'll whip up a draft, shoot it to you guys can tweak it up and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Sounds
All
good.
right, sounds good.
All right.
Anything else on that subject, sir?
Don't you dig up any, you'll pull it out for sure.
I do that to irrigation lines.
Yeah, but you got somebody fixes up for free.
No. I tell them, you better call that irrigation guys. First thing I rip out.
Yeah, don't call them guys. Let's see. Okay, so we're done with 35 Beachview. We're gonna go with a request from Kevin O'Brien for a discussion regarding proposed project on Howard Street. Mr. O'Brien.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. For the record, my name's Kevin O'Brien. I'm here
I wish we
tonight.
could print this big.
Come on, Christie.
This is because I know everyone's
Sorry.
eyes don't work.
Wow, this is great. I don't even have to wear my glasses.
Look at the special paper too. Isn't this photo paper?
Only the best for you guys. Yes. And of course, we've got the board right here that might look even better than the sheet you have in front of you. You all know that I've been here before. Back in March, I was here. We've had correspondence with myself, and you guys have had it with your attorneys. I'm asking again to extend the water main to my property at 318 Howard Street, or in that general vicinity where the road is. It won't be exactly 318, it'll be after, I think, numbers 390. I am not looking for the water to be extended into the district, outside the district, excuse me. Your lawyers have come back and with previous emails and said, well, you know, we should clarify and maybe have a vote to clarify it. Your act is very specific. It says, and I'm even going to read for you. For the purposes aforesaid, the district, acting by and through its Board of Water Commissioners, I believe that's you all, not being a smart aleck, please, herein provided for, may contract with any municipality, acting through its water department, I believe that's what it means, or with any water company, or with any water district, for whatever water may be required. I don't know where it says, or with any water company, not Kevin O'Brien because he wants to put it in outside the district, or sell it to, using it outside the district. I know you all sell water out here, water companies come here, the tankers come in, they fill up, and I know it's going to pools and stuff. I know those tankers don't take to all places in Lunenburg. I'm sure they don't sign an affidavit saying, hey, the water we're buying and we're taking out of here, out of the parking lot, is going to Lunenburg. I believe that the way this is stated allows you to allow me to put water in from, as we've talked about before, from Beale Street, 3 miles away to Howard Street, and not go in outside the district. I can go up to that lot line, or that district line, put a meter in, that's the way you all regulate how much water I use and how you charge me for it. And as Richard Larkin said back in February of 2021, I've got the meeting minutes, he said that that could be done. Your own lawyers from KP Law have said it now. They also said, well, it might make sense to clarify, you know, maybe have a vote in the district. Like what you guys just went through, I mean, it kind of helped me a little bit with in my conversation here, what the gentleman just went through, clarifying that, hey, you gotta have it inspected. Hey, you know, you guys are gonna do something to clarify a little bit better. We all understand that scenario right there, they knew they had to have it inspected. Clarification, putting something in, clarifying it, makes all the sense in the world. Maybe you clarify something in the act. Maybe you change it. Maybe you haven't had anybody come to you and say, hey, I want to put water in and I want to put it to the line and start my own water company. I've said this before. That's my spiel.
I got a question. What, you said KP, our attorney, told you?
There's an email from March of 2023.
I'll give you copies of it there.
March 2023, says, hi Christie. First, Mr. O'Brien is correct as to my 12/14 email. And when I wrote, although it does expressly prohibit it either, that was supposed to say, although it does not expressly prohibit it either, which he was talking about this, my reading of it.
But also the attorney's reading of it. KP, that's how he
That's my impression, that's my opinion.
So if you read it, it says it doesn't clearly state we can or cannot sell water outside the district.
The next paragraph, the next line says that.
But what I'm getting at, our attorney seems to think that we can sell water outside the district?
Well, your first attorney.
I'm trying to get this clear in my head is what I'm trying to
Richard
do.
Larkin said it before. Back in February of 2021, he said that something could be done. Actually, he even said something at the meeting, well, how do we regulate it? What if you don't pay? How do we get paid? And I said, you shut it off, and he said, you can't do that. And Fran said, we do it with everybody that doesn't pay. If you don't pay, you shut it
Yeah, I
off.
don't know if we can shut off a whole housing.
I know that.
Yeah.
Well, whole housing projects are gonna be pretty pissed off if they don't get their water. And
Yeah,
I don't see them not paying it.
So, my take on this is just me, 1/3 here, is we had discussed this in the emails that you sent earlier today. I wish do you have a copy of that one that Fran sent? Just noting
I
those
don't.
dates.
Sorry, I had it
That-
for him and I.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Basically that, this is obviously not the first time you've come to this with us, and we've had special meetings, and this has been voted on 2 separate occasions, on different levels, but one was, I don't wanna misquote here, but was not to expand the water district was one of the votes.
Right.
And the other vote was not to sell water to Mr. O'Brien.
Right.
Okay, this was just what the Lunenburg Water District, water takers voted on. So, as me sitting on this board, I'm going to honor what has already been voted on and do what the district takers want.
But not to interrupt you, but it does not say that it has to go for a vote. If you want to extend the district, it has to go for a vote. Even the letter from your attorney doesn't say
I
that.
completely understand that. However, there was another vote taken that says that we do not want to sell water outside the district. That was a vote taken.
But that's not required for you to sell it. It says it's up to the commissioners.
Okay. Right. So I
That's what I said.
I understand
That's
that,
the way
I
I read
understand that, I don't necessarily, that could be maybe fine-tuned a little bit, but as me sitting here as a commissioner, I'm gonna go with no, I don't want to sell it, I'll do that because it's already been voted on, and that I don't feel like, me as representing the water district, I don't think it'd be the right thing to do.
see, my take on the thing is,
There's a lot of area here that it can go astray.
I'm kind of, I know all the votes were taken and everything was no. I know that and I agree with the votes. The thing of it is, if 2 attorneys say that can be done, and it can be done according to the law, or according to what the attorneys say. I mean, I'm not for or against your project. I'm not for it and I'm not against it. But if you have a right, according to the law, and everything that we're talking about and what's going on here, and I'm sure Mr. Rogers would agree, I know you don't want that project up there, Dave, and I understand, but if this gentleman has a legal right by the law to do what he wants to do, I'm not gonna say no to it. I mean, if you can't prove that you can do it, I'll say no, but if you can prove that you can do it, I don't have I can't see how I can say no.
Just for a little bit more clarification, we actually, under the 40B application, we actually put that pretty much on hold with the zoning board of appeals. And we said, let's go, because we were going back and forth. So, said, let's put it on hold, let's get a reply, let's get an opinion from the HAC. The HAC came back last Wednesday and said, that the zoning board of appeals, my words, not theirs, the zoning board of appeals can work as you guys. They step in the shoes of the water department. They don't step in the shoes of the sewer department outside of their district. Now, again, I would say you clarify that with your own attorneys.
Yeah, so I read that 22-page document in depth several times. Those lawyers, they really lawyered that one up, big time. Basically what that letter, the surmise of what I get out of it is the ZBA has the authority to work within that 40B. They do not have the authority to expand the water district or expand the sewer district. That's how I read that.
That's how I read it.
Correct. Okay, so back to your point of it, I just really want to try to focus on the one issue here, which is you want to buy water in the district for yourself, and then you do whatever you want with it after
That
that.
is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. My point has been made on that, which, like I said, I'm one of three sitting here, that's just how I feel, but, I know you talked about, like, Zach Taylor taking water here. There's a million ways to look at that. There could be like me, I'm in the water district, and I fill up a glass of water and I take it to work and I drink it in Westford. You could really start really nitpicking that back and forth, and I just feel like the way that we have this written now, that in general, you taking water at so many gallons right at the edge to redistribute it to yourself is not really, I believe it's against our policy. That's just how I feel.
But again, the Act of 1939 doesn't say that.
It also doesn't say we can do that.
Doesn't say we have to.
Right.
So,
Now, we're back to the property he wants to, I know we've hashed this, and it still sticks in my mind. The property that the water is gonna end up on is in the water district.
Nick.
outside the district. Well, partially, the property is in the district.
He wants to.
But we cannot run anything, he puts one house outside the district. If that's one whole house lot, he can't run a water line to that structure, because it's outside the district.
You can't run a water line to it.
Correct.
But I, as a water company, which I would start my own water company, as I've said
Right.
before, can sell it to that one house.
Right. So my take is on the acts, my interpretation is, the last few words, for whatever water may be required. So I take this section 2 as we have the right to enter into any agreements to purchase water to supply the district. And I'm not denying that we don't have the authority to sell water outside the district. So I look at this act as more of a acquiring versus a sale. I look at the water that we sell on site here as something that is not a necessity for fire protection or for residential use. It can be suspended at any time if we have a shortage of our supply. So what you're proposing would be supply to residents, so that on top of that, we would need to have the supply for fire protection. So there are some differences to those two types of sale. And you stated that our attorneys said that is possible, anything is possible. I sit here as an elected official, and it is the power of the board, but the voters put us here to represent them, and the voters kind of said that they did not have an interest in this board engaging in the sale of water. So if there was something somewhere that said that we had to sell it to you, but I have not seen that, I agree with Mr. Woodward. The stuff that, what I took out of the HIC is the water district works on its own, that no other town board can make us do anything as far as to tell us and make us expand the water line up to that area. The only thing that would probably sway me a little bit at this point would be if there was some sort of support within the voters of the district that I represent to encourage me to sell the water outside the district. Or to sell it even inside the district to a larger, you're gonna be a pretty good water taker up there. So,
Well, I'm sorry.
that's fine.
As the board may remember, I came here at the approval of the zoning board of appeals. I was allowed to come and talk to your board, and I was allowed to talk to the sewer board about the possibility of bringing water and sewer to the different the water and the sewer to the property. At that point, we talked about if this is allowed, that we do something with a storage tank up there. And maybe at some point we do a well. I know that's, something that you'd like to do.
Now, you said storage tank, do you mean water tank?
Water tank, water tank.
Okay, not storage tank.
Yeah, water tank, I'm sorry.
No,
What I'd like to do is, if the board would be so kind as to refer this to your attorneys, ask them their opinion, because I'm gonna keep pushing this, because I think what this says like that you can do it. I know, Matt, you had said something back in March about, it's gonna open up more development. I mean, the sewer would absolutely open up more development. I think the water's, I don't think the water's gonna, because you can put a well anywhere, pretty much. I know there's ways of regulating it with moratoriums, not letting anybody else tie into it. There'd be fire protection all the way, you'd have to put hydrants every 750 feet. So that would be something that I'm sure would be required, and I would be willing to do. But I would appreciate you getting an opinion from your attorneys again. And let's see what their take is on it. And if we have to go further, we just go further.
So-
Nothing against you all. I know you're in a position where people have said, nope, we don't want him doing anything up there, and we're gonna stop. Everyone thinks, not you, but everyone thinks that it's gonna be the zoning tool. We'll stop O'Brien with not giving him water and not giving him sewer. That's okay.
So if we agreed to consult our attorney, which again is gonna be at another fee for us, the question you'd be asking, are we required, if a person within the district asks for water and is willing to do all the work, are we required to allow that? Because, you have to look at, we have a large entity of voters that there was a majority that really didn't want us as a board to move forward, and, as elected officials, whether I agree and think that there are significant benefits or things about the project up there that I don't like, I'm elected by the voters, so the voters.
And I don't want to be
Overwhelmingly.
in that position.
Right, so,
What I'm asking you now, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's
What I'm
fine.
asking you now is get an opinion from your attorneys. I'm willing to wait and come back in another meeting if I have to have 2 more meetings or 3 more meetings, doesn't matter to me. If you give your attorney the authority to talk to my attorney, maybe that makes more sense, and maybe the 2 of them talk before I come to another meeting with you. I'm okay with that.
so for me, I'd be, if we agreed as a board to send this to council, my question would be, because I don't think that, my interpretation, but I'm not legal, is that we aren't required to allow a water company to be formed and sell water to that water company. I don't feel.
I take that as true.
I feel that. So I'm just kind of curious at this point, I mean, I'm willing to indulge a little bit, but how much are we gonna spend on legal to where we put the burden on Mr. O'Brien to
Right, so.
get his attorney to tell us why? They seem to think it's in this, your attorney, his feeling is in this highlighted phrase, that this gives you the ability to come in and say, I'm forming a water company, I'm gonna expand the line.
Yeah, see, I read that totally different. I read that if he's a water company, we can buy water from him.
From him.
I don't see any of that.
So, I'll ask a question, yeah, I don't really know the answer, maybe you can shed the light on it, but let's just say, Mr. O'Brien aside, that if anybody wanted to, that was in the district, that wanted to
Start a water company.
start a water company, or more importantly, just wanted water, they were in the district, but outside of where we service right now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just down some road that there's not a water line. How would they get the approval to do so? Does it have to, do we 3 as the board members have the right to be like, we don't want to run a water line down there because of X, Y, and Z? Because I believe we have the right to do that.
I think I feel as a board, we have the right to deny it.
Correct.
We've asked the opinion of the voters.
Sure.
And we know where that lies.
So I guess that's kind
I don't
of
know.
my question is like, that would, looking into the bylaws, that'd be my first question, okay? I am also, we have spent a lot of money on lawyers lately, and I really don't like that, especially, I want to make sure that we have, nothing against you, but like a just cause to do this. We just can't keep going back to the attorneys. And I understand it's how business works, but I don't see a need for it right now when I feel like we have all the legality things that we need now. Once again, just one person sitting here.
But if you read what our attorneys put, it says it doesn't expressly say that you can or can't.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
So
open.
it's a
So to me- to me,
possibility.
it goes to you guys, and as for this one, this means nothing. This is to buy water. So to
So-
me, that doesn't apply. It was like us when we put in the Keating well. We put in the Keating well
Mm-hmm.
because we can be outside of our district. We ran the water main to it. No one could connect to that line until they were put in that district.
Mm-hmm.
Once they were put in a district, which took a couple of years, and then they could connect to that line.
Mm-hmm.
So we held ourselves to those regulations that they're not in the water district. We cannot supply them with water. So, but we can acquire land outside of our district.
Where would we be if we were in the district? Granted, there's a couple differences here. We're talking about expanding the system itself. But let's say we had a business come into town that wanted to use an excessive amount of water for
Yeah,
resale.
sure.
Poland Springs
Correct.
wants to put in a factory at Keating's.
Right, they love our water, and like, all right, we're gonna start, like.
Are we obligated to supply them with the water?
Ooh, tough one.
As a lawyer, what do you think?
I think, from what I've always been told, yes, you have to supply them. The parts where it gets difficult is when your withdrawal permit cannot support their request.
Okay, so can our withdrawal permit support Mr. O'Brien's
No,
request?
we're at max now.
Okay.
So you can apply to have it amended to a higher number if the DEP, agrees with your formulation of your calculations of your numbers and stuff. They could increase it.
But the wrench on this is now we're putting in, is it 2 miles of main, 3 miles of main?
Three.
3 miles of main.
And definitely have to have a storage tank. You have to have a booster station with electric bill to pump it to the storage tank. Yeah, there's a lot of, to me, yeah.
I mean, that to me is, it's a lot. It's not at a cost to the district, but it's a lot. But
Once
I
again-
still don't see the,
I think the focus here, not to, just to try to drive this legally, do we have to supply water to somebody in the district? Or is it up to the commissioner's vote to yay or nay do it? That's my question, okay?
okay,
In my opinion, I think in the district, yes, he's allowed to get water.
Okay.
Outside the district, to me, that's to you guys. And I think you guys were, the people voted what you guys should be telling them. So,
but I understand what he's looking for clarity, though.
I understand too.
I just explained that if Poland Spring goes in, it's not much different than what Mr. O'Brien's trying to do.
And it does, and again, in the act, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say, hey, if you're gonna sell it outside the district. I mean,
But I also feel that in some instance, for somebody to come in and say you have to sell us this large amount of water because we're in your district, there's gotta be some sort of a mechanism for us if we don't feel that
It's in the best benefit.
it's
of the
best
district.
interest of the district, or it follows the interest of the district, which is where we're at.
this happened in Townsend, the Witch's Brook.
Yeah,
The town of Townsend did not want to supply that project with water, and they didn't. You found 2 wells that pumped 2 million gallons a day, so he took care of himself. So he was forced to go the other way. But the town got away with not providing him with water, so.
right, so there's historic there, granted, different town, different district, different bylaws. I guess I'd be looking for a vote of the board to decide whether we want to have more clarity and have our council look into this further and give us, or whether the board is satisfied with the answers we have from council right now and put the burden on Mr. O'Brien to prove to us otherwise. So that would be up to that would be at the board, I guess is where
Yes, that's.
we're at roughly.
Or would it make more sense to have my attorney give his opinion to it instead of your attorney? And then you can send it to you.
I guess if his attorney has an opinion and sent it to our attorney for review, and our attorney could say, agree, don't agree.
I think that would be better. That way we know exactly what
Sure.
he's asking.
That's exactly what like that.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'd like to take this one step further. I would just politely have your attorney look for whatever it is he's looking for to like an exact, you know, like it's math, you know what I'm saying? 1 and 1 is 2 here, you know, these words mean exactly this. Then I would like to bring that back to this board and let us review it, and then we will go from there.
So you'd rather have my attorney put his opinion, our opinion,
Yep.
writing, get it to you?
Correct.
And then if we feel we want to,
If we feel that we need this to move further, then we will. That's,
we would then forward it to our attorney,
yes.
Certainly okay with that.
trying to curb the legal expense, which is
I
fine.
mean, yeah,
I'm
I'm
with you.
sorry, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah,
You know,
nope.
nothing to do with you, just, you know, it's,
I know it's been ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. I
Okay.
mean, we've had discussions and people have said, well, why don't you let them run a 1-inch line? And I remember Mark saying, what sense does that
It
make?
doesn't make any sense.
You
It
can
doesn't
run it
make
to
any sense.
318 Howard Street, so do
Yeah.
I run an 8-inch main, or we've talked 12-inch main, because if we were gonna do something up there, does it make sense to run it just to the house that I own there and then sell it out of there?
it's,
So, I think what you said, to me, makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll get my lawyer to put his opinion in writing, send it to you all.
And for me personally, I'd be looking at something that he draws from, that I understand we may have the authority, but us having the authority right now, I don't know where everybody else is, but I'm with the voters at this point.
Of course you are.
Because
And again,
that's who
if it-
elected me.
If it takes, that's why I'm saying that,
Yeah.
it would make sense to do that. I'm not looking for you all to put yourselves in a bind here. You have to live with these people. I drive out of town every day. Call it what it is. So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I like that idea, actually.
okay.
So you'd have it at one of these meetings, so we'll get the letter, and then you can let me know, hey, we're gonna discuss it December.
Yep, and if we needed our legal, instead of making our legal dig for stuff, they can take something specific, if there's something specific we want them to look at and determine.
Tell them to write it though, so we can understand.
Yeah. It's gonna be like this.
Don't do it like the HAC writing up, right up, that was a
Yeah.
tough
I didn't
read.
read the whole thing yet.
Oh, that was a
Yeah,
tough
it's,
read.
It's a lot. So,
So, I'll have my lawyer write the letter. We'll get it over to you.
I can forward to
You
everybody.
will set up a meeting, give me a time. I'll come to the meeting. I know you like having me. I'll come to the meeting, we'll discuss it, whatever way you decide.
right.
Your lawyer might get more involved. Just,
Sure.
and again, I'm okay with that. Let's keep discussing it and
Okay.
we don't.
Mr. Chairman, at what particular point will you accept comments from the peanut gallery, so-called?
When I feel we are concluded our discussion with Mr. O'Brien, if there is comments in relation to this, then we would definitely take them. The last comment that I have is just, reiterating I'd be looking for your attorney there's gotta be some sort of a leverage with your property being in the district that would require us to almost do it. Because a straw poll between, I think, at least myself and Mr. Woodward was, we're not in favor of voting this thing forward based on what we have for information in front of us and the voters' sentiment.
Well, I think you have a good clue of what I'm doing, and I'm not saying, you completely understand. I'm sure you do.
Yep.
I want water for that project.
Yep.
But let my lawyer put it in legal form.
Yep, if there's,
I've done it in layman form, I've done it in the water in the ground kind of form, so.
okay. Anything else from anybody else on the board?
Nothing from me.
Okay, so now I would open up for any public comment regarding this issue.
Mr. Rogers? I'm Dave Rogers, 82 Highland Street. frankly, I don't believe I'm listening to what I just heard. Okay? The people have voted. The consensus is in. The state has acted upon this. This is just another way to try to exacerbate and circumvent what the people have said that they do not want. Okay? They don't want it. You have every single right to do what you have to do. Now think about this for a minute. You're gonna have Mr. O'Brien's attorney draw some stuff up to present his case. Do you think that you'll then read that and make it a decision yourself, or will you send it to council? You're gonna send it to council. There's no way that you can get it out. But you don't have to do that. You truly don't. And if you have any misconception, it's the fact that you know, you want everybody and their brother to put their imprimatur on this, and you don't have to do that. You have the right to do this, okay? There's nothing that says that we, the district, has to do this. And I don't, for the life of me, understand why you have to draw this out. The state has acted, okay? I mean, what more do you have to do? I mean, this is absolutely crazy if you're on our side of the equation. I understand what he's trying to do, but very frankly, and this is to be construed is how I'm saying it. The Lunenburg Water District is very, very capable of doing what it has to do. It does not need counsel from an applicant or an applicant telling the Lunenburg Water District what they can do. We don't need that. Thank you very much. End of discussion. This is absolutely crazy. He's bringing you down the primrose path and you don't need to go. And if you bring this up and talk it more, I mean, for what? You have every right to do what the people have said that they want to do. And the answer is no. N-O. I just don't understand this.
I think we have already done what the people asked us to
No,
do.
you haven't, John. No, you haven't.
Well, he hasn't got his okay yet.
What?
He hasn't got his approval yet, so we
John,
must...
you're entertaining something that doesn't need to be entertained.
Well,
David, I do have the right to be here. I own a...
Nobody ever said.
Hold on, hey, hold on, I will moderate this. This is public comment. I appreciate your comment. You want to make a comment to the board? We're all ears. There's no discussion between you two. You're in public comment, Mr. Rogers. And we've heard and accepted your public comment.
I really don't need anybody to lecture to me about what I can do and what I can't do. If you don't give somebody the discretion of telling you what is on their mind, you're not doing your job, okay? And I will reserve any further comments till another time. But believe me, you will hear from me and those that I will call. This doesn't make any sense, my considered opinion.
Seems to me you got an axe to grind.
Me?
Yes.
All right.
No, I'm just saying.
That was a public comment, John.
Okay.
I have an axe to
No,
grind?
forget it.
No, we
That's the end of it.
yeah.
I have a...
Dave, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna...
Don't tell me it's the end of it.
It's
This
the
is
end of it for
America,
me.
goddammit. Yeah.
It's the end of it for me.
Yeah.
You can keep
Good.
talking all you want. It's the end of it for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Mr. Chairman, no comment. This is America.
Yeah.
And I have the right to be here and ask you to do this, so that's what I've asked.
And I agree with that, Mr.
Yep.
Chairman.
I'm agreeing to do what you said.
Okay.
That's what the board, the three members of the board's wish is, that I put something together for my attorney, which we've already talked about. That's what I will do. Once you get a chance to review that, you want to talk about it at a meeting, please let me know. I'll come to that meeting, and we'll see what we come up with.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good. Do we have any more on the matter with Mr. O'Brien?
Nothing for me.
You sure?
No, I think we're good for right now. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for coming in.
If I don't see you before the holiday, everyone enjoy the
You too.
Thank you.
Christmas and New Year holiday.
Alrighty.
We'll see each other before that.
Set a date and time for a special meeting to allocate funds for Lancaster Ave well pilot study and approve payment of fiscal year 22-23 KP Law invoices. Hey!
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, so
There you go,
I
Woody.
I was a little frustrated with that. I don't know why some of those invoices got missed, and they literally are from like March, some of them. And
Is this the,
I'm sorry, there's even some from December of '22.
is this the 22,000 that we have spent on?
No, that, I think it was,
It's an addition to.
Okay.
Addition to this, they're saying that we still owe them about $13,000 from invoices that dated back from December of '22, which in speaking with them, I didn't recall getting them, but I guess in some of them, they weren't printed. I don't know if they went into my spam box or what happened.
Okay.
But it wasn't until October that she sent me an email that said, hey, by the way,
October of '23 is the first email you got for the by
Sorry,
the
hold on.
way on invoices back
Yeah, that doesn't make any
over a
sense.
year older.
well, so she's saying that she did send some of them. I never found some of them in there. I don't know if some of them went into, so we did get, I apologize. We got one letter from them in August 25th of '23. And it had 5 invoices that she said were from December, January, March, April, June.
Of 23?
December of '22.
Of 22.
And the rest in '23.
Okay.
For $11,900. So we got it in the mail. Actually, it looks like we got it in the mail. So I reached out to her and said, I don't have any of these. Can you send them all to me?
So what, did you get a statement?
So she sent me each invoice with the details on them. So then I followed up and said, okay, we have to call a special meeting on this. I'll let you know when we're gonna do it. So then Brian Riley, from KP, followed up with me then again in November 21st and said, hey, my billing department just asked me to follow up for unpaid invoices. Looks like there's these. Well, then there was a whole nother invoice on here that she never sent me back in August. So she mailed me this, saying you have an outstanding balance of $11,967. He sent me saying you have an outstanding balance of $13,848. So I emailed him and I said, you can see where my frustration is. I sent him all of this, and now you're telling me I don't get this. So he sent me the invoices, and apparently if you guys want to review, obviously all of them you can look at. They break it down for legal's initials, how much time, what it's for, and actually this first one from June 16th.
Do we have,
This June one is a lot of the HAC stuff.
Okay.
So anyways,
Sorry again.
if you would like, when we call a special meeting, if you guys would like to see all of these invoices, review them.
Yes.
So that we can come up with a dollar amount, but we do need to pay them, but we have to do it as a special meeting because it was last fiscal year.
Right, we can't pay any invoices from last fiscal year because the budget's
Yeah.
already closed. So basically, like at town meeting, if something gets missed,
Right.
it
Yeah.
has to go to the next special meeting to be able to pay it.
So I can get you, we have time,
We can't take it even if we have it in the budget this year for
no,
those
I
tax
completely
bills.
understand why we can't just pay it, but I'm more concerned of why did it get to this? Like,
I don't know.
Didn't the emails come through with not a specific, like a name, just a girl's name on it?
Yeah, I think so.
To me,
I don't
when
think it
I
had,
think when she sent them.
I didn't send her.
I saw them as, to me, it was just junk mail. Something.
So-
Yeah, and it was one time, you know what I mean, like a December invoice sent in December. No, hey, a month's gone by, you haven't paid the December invoice,
something's going on.
It wasn't until I received this letter in August that it was brought to my attention that there was invoices from that, and so I then have said you need to include my email, not just Loon Watt. This is mine. hopefully have fixed it going forward, but very frustrated, but that this got to this point.
How long
I don't,
have we been using KP Law? Years.
no.
Year and a half?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not
Maybe
not
two?
long.
Now, do they want the 11 or the 13,000? What are they talking
He's
about?
saying that we owe 13,
we-
so I emailed him back and I said, you know, I sent him this. I said, I'm confused. You're telling me this, that we owe 13,848. Well, Antoinette, your billing manager, sent me this.
For 11.
So he said, oh, I'll send you the invoice that she didn't have on there. So how did she not
How
have
do you,
it,
how
yet
do you
he
not,
has
how
another
do you not have an invoice on a statement?
So Christie, what I would like to see
Yeah.
is basically, like, when I get stuff from Powell's, like on the 14th, they deliver me 6 tons of this.
Yep.
Okay, what else for this? Like, I'd
Yep.
like to be able to go through every one of those.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay.
So
And
I got
then-
all those.
They're actually pretty good.
Get
Yeah,
get an
that's-
accurate statement, confirm the statement with all of the invoices that you have. And you wanna let them know that the delay is probably pretty much on their end, cause they should have let you know before now that we're going to have a special meeting to allocate the funds to be able
Yes.
to pay these past bills,
Yep.
that it would behoove them, I like that big word, behoove, that in
Fiduciary
the future,
responsibility.
Yeah, to not wait
for
until
them to make
August
sure
for-
they
yeah.
get us their bills before our closing.
Okay.
So that we can pay them in a timely fashion.
And then the reality is, we would only need to have a special meeting to pay the bills outside of this.
Fiscal year.
Yeah, this would have been part of your warrant to
Right,
pay this.
correct.
If
Right.
had I gotten them on time, but because they're all from 22,
Understood.
23 fiscal year,
We
so.
can pay the ones this year, but we just need.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so I will get all of this, we can still set the date, time, do everything. I'll get you guys the invoices, I'll get you everything. And then, once the article is made, that will have the exact amount of what we're gonna pay.
So
So this doesn't hold us up from setting the date.
we have to have a district meeting for this.
We
special
just have to
meeting,
call
yeah.
it just a special meeting.
The cost of having a special meeting,
Well, the only thing is, there's another line item that we want to add the
If-
pilot study for
if
Lancaster.
there are
Ave.
things that we have to do, then I'm
Yes,
okay with doing a
that's the
special
only reason.
meeting.
This was, I
'Cause we're-
told them, I said, we're not calling a special meeting just to pay these. I said,
Okay.
I'll let you know if we are, but then,
How much does it cost to have a special meeting?
Well, we have to notify all the voters, then we have prep, it's basically here, I mean,
Yes.
I would assume,
A couple $100?
no.
I'm gonna guess
Yeah.
1,500.
How much?
1,500, just for the newspaper articles.
Are we going on the same place with this?
but the thing is we also want to work, I mean, we
But-
don't really want to wait
Wait, right.
for Lancaster
I
Ave, right?
understand.
Yeah,
That's- so-
they're on those.
Oh, okay,
They're
well,
on the
put that
stuff.
aside, we're gonna call the special meeting
I
anyway
understand,
because
but-
of this. But
Right.
yes, I did
I
tell
wasn't gonna
them-
call a special meeting just for this.
I did tell them, because when he had first sent this, he said, yes, you're gonna have to call a special meeting. And I said, we don't, and he said, it's fine, just add it if you already have another special meeting, or we can wait until your annual meeting. So this was put aside until.
I know what you're saying.
I get it, yes.
Yes.
We're gonna have council at the special meeting, right?
Do we have to?
We kinda decided that we needed to
Yeah,
have,
we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
every one of them.
you know, maybe they'll
I'll tell
waive
him
that
maybe
fee,
he
who
should,
knows?
It's kind of what I was going with this. You know, like, hey,
Hey, you know, we'll have a special meeting if.
yeah,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
will you accept comment from the floor on this particular subject? And if
yeah.
not, when?
If you have we have public comment at the end of the meeting.
Fine, okay.
So we just have a couple other things, and then if you had a public comment relating to that, I would prefer to have it at the end of the meeting,
That's
please.
fine.
So the whole intent of us asking for the special meeting is for the pilot test for Lancaster Ave.
Correct.
And the purpose the reason why we're asking for is because the capital planning at the town's special meeting, they voted against all the, not using the ARPA funding for the fire trucks and the ambulance and the DPW trucks. So the ARPA's still gonna buy the trucks. So we were kinda hoping that the money would become more available for the.
So we'd have
for us to be
more.
part of this, but
And
yeah.
we have to have a special meeting to allocate the ARPA funds?
No more ARPA funds are available to us, so that's why we need to appropriate.
We need to
money from
appropriate the
ourselves.
additional to do
Lancaster.
all the testing.
The Lancaster, the ARPA's gonna pay for Keating's, we now need to cover the cost for Lancaster.
We were hoping the ARPA funds was gonna become, more funds were gonna become available
So we
to
could do both.
possibly submit again for Keating's, but
Right.
it is not.
Okay.
So now we need to do it ourselves.
We need to
And
appropriate
we
money for
don't
this
wanna
testing.
wait on this.
No.
Nope,
Nope.
no, because the timeframes that are coming are tight.
Yeah, so the engineer, he just responded, used the same number as we had for Keating's, 200,000. So if we do the special meeting, that'll be the line item, 200,000 for the pilot testing.
And that's gonna be sufficient, because we're gonna look at blending
We
Lancaster
haven't
Ave?
decided how we're gonna build the treatment plants, but this will decide how Lancaster Ave needs to be treated. Then we'll go into this will be more of the design capital master plan of how we're gonna treat Luna Ridge water.
So it's
We're gonna do one big treatment plant, tie
Right.
Keating's and Lancaster
Right.
together, that's what that.
But is it so it's the same money to do a pilot study for Keating's as it is to do 5 wells on Lancaster Ave?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They all pump together, so we're
Right.
gonna do one tap, so you're not.
Okay.
It's not gonna be like you're doing this well.
I'm not
But
gonna do
you've said before that we have differences in levels of
Fine.
PFAS in each one. How do we know what the blend's gonna be at any given time?
That is true, but, well, like, same, not only anything different than Hickory Hills, but we're running at a flow rate that's nowhere near what the real one is. So I think they're gonna just say, hey, this is the PFAS.
But that's one
This-
well. This is multiple
Right,
sources.
but this is the PFAS, and this is the iron and manganese levels, which usually the iron and manganese kind of stay pretty consistent. Will the treatment method work with that PFAS? You know, so that's different
Okay.
things. So we'll leave that to the engineers, but we'll,
Yeah, I'm curious how you get accurate testing out of five different sources that run random times, because you're not always gonna run them at the same time.
right, yeah, I'm not sure how we're gonna do.
I mean, it's probably still gonna treat the water as it comes through it, but to get an accurate pilot.
to get an efficient, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I-
However, we still need to allocate
Oh, yeah.
the funds to get this
Yeah.
going, and I'm in
Yeah.
favor of
In
that.
the meantime, I would just ask that question to Ty and Bond.
Yes, actually, we were just talking today, so, yeah, they asked for the water quality for the wells, so I told them to
Okay.
get all that together, and so we're heading down that road that, you know, you're kinda asking about, so.
Good.
So
Okay.
we were wondering, our next meeting, 2 meetings away, December 27th, would be our regular meeting night.
I wouldn't be here.
Okay.
You what?
I won't be here.
We'll be fine, John, again.
Well,
Yeah,
we were
you guys
thinking,
wanna handle it?
no, we were thinking
Oh,
for
the
the special
27th
meeting.
Wednesday? I might be.
27th is a Wednesday, which would be our normal meeting, so we're
Yeah.
thinking, what if we put our normal meeting for 5 o'clock and did the special at 6 o'clock?
Oh, on the 27th?
Yes.
Why not do it at 4 and 5? Oh, I got you, yeah, yeah.
Or 4 and 5, whatever you guys want,
We
you
were
guys
thinking
pick the
a little
time.
later, so people get home
S-
from
we-
work.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
no,
were
no,
thinking
I-
6 o'clock
I
has always
agree.
been a good
I
time for
agree.
the special
I agree.
meeting. And then we would just do our normal meeting for 5, or if it comes to it and we get a few things on the agenda, we do it at 4. Whatever it is, but we were thinking 6 o'clock for the 27th.
As a resident, Mr. Rogers, can I ask your opinion of having a special district meeting between Christmas and New Year's?
No.
You don't,
No,
I'm asking your opinion.
Crazy.
I just think schedule. Now, granted, the other way to look at it is either everybody's gone or everybody's home. So,
Yeah, good point. We were just looking at the,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just-
yes, that's a quick way. I
So our next one would be January 10th, which I did reach out to our moderator and got dates that he's available.
wasn't he gone?
He is here. He said he is available on the 3rd and the 10th.
Oh, okay.
So the following Wednesday would be the 3rd. If you just wanted to do a special meeting and not our meeting, our normal meeting night in January would be the 10th.
I'd rather do a 2 for 1, but that's just.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't mind the 2 for 1, and then it's it's just I'm just bringing into light that no matter what, it's all close to the holidays.
The 10th.
Before or after?
The 10th is a couple of weeks after,
A
yep.
little after, and it'll be easy.
Yeah, I mean I think the 3rd's a little tight to New Year's. Everybody's
Might still be hung over.
getting back. Yeah, right. Who knows how people are gonna vote? They're gonna vote happy.
All right, so we're looking at January 10th at 6 PM. Okay, so that,
One of my things I was trying to get for the special was the tower thing that we're trying to put in the Chase
Yep,
Road tank.
yep.
I was hoping to get something from that so we could, appropriate money.
So to give you a little more time to get that,
Yeah. So I think we got urges from the outside to get this RFP out there for the cellular stuff, to get this thing going. So maybe we can get them to actually do this for us, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me get the RFP out and,
if we get the RFP, then maybe we can, even if we allocate the money, doesn't mean we have to spend it. If a carrier comes in willing to put the equipment on for us,
yeah.
then we don't have to spend it, but at least it would be allocated, or we gotta wait till the special, to the regular meeting. So,
Yeah, probably the regular meeting, yeah. We'll see how things go for that, but pretty unlikely, but.
okay,
so we're good, 10th, okay,
10th.
okay.
January 10th.
I just have to plan ahead, those have to be posted a couple
We
weeks
have to have the
before.
articles.
I'm gonna have, yeah, I already reached out to KP
Yeah.
and said we'll be doing articles, but with the holidays, I'll have to figure out the
Yep.
full 2 weeks posted before, so.
So
Okay.
you want it on the 10th, so can you actually make a motion for us to call a special meeting on January 10th?
I would like to make a motion to call a special meeting on January 10th
At 6 p.m.
at 6 PM.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I would post that as soon as you can on our website.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanna get some.
And
I wanna
notify.
get some final numbers
and
together, but
send-
yeah, I will.
Send something to Heather so that she can either.
They can talk about it, okay.
They can at least bring it up at the, whatever selectmen's meeting between now and then.
Okay,
And when our articles are gonna be, when
Ready,
we have
we'll
the
let them know.
articles out, so that people can preview them. And so on.
okay.
Okay. Any other, so we just see special meeting, KP Law invoices, we discussed all that. Old business, Mass Ave water main replacement.
Nothing new on that.
Hickory Hills pilot study.
A little bit on that. So they brought a truck and trailer down there with all the equipment inside the trailer, and they're building the whole treatment plant now. It's pretty much, I was just down this.
Pilot.
The whole pilot plant.
Yeah.
They got everything all set up, so we just gotta do some holes in the wall to run their hoses out. The tank is coming Monday morning, and he said there'll probably be, once the tank gets here, about a week more of setting everything up. They can put all the media in for stuff like that, so probably week and a half, we should have that test up and going. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'll have to know for the guys, we're gonna get hay bales, we'll do hay bales on top of that hill for that hose to dump into the hay bales.
What about the cameras?
How many,
Yep, we got those in stock,
how many emails?
so we just gotta get over there
I
and
was
get them
thinking
set up.
like 6 or 8.
Who's gonna put them up?
We are,
I'll drop them, I can tax some leftovers in my house.
we are.
Keating's pilot study.
They're working on it. I talked to the pilot, Blue Leaf, who's gonna do the pilot test. They're doing a test in Maine. I'm not sure which town in Maine, but the same thing is what we're doing with the hard water and the PFAS. So he's been talking with Ty and Bond about that plant. I'm not sure if they're done with it or almost done with it and relocating to the Keating well. So I think this one will be a trailer that they bring in where it's all set up, so they just pipe into the trailer. So but it's in the works. Yeah, working on stuff.
That same process, submittal to DEP for approval.
Yes, all that's, they're all working on all that too.
Good.
Yep, actually, they're actually in discussion with DEP on how they want to do the testing. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's in the beginning phases. Once they come to a conclusion on how they all want to do it, then there'll be actual full submittal to get it.
To DEP,
Yeah,
to get it
to
approved.
DEP to get it
Yep.
approved.
Okay, now we have Commissioner, Superintendent, Clerk, Treasurer additions.
Okay,
Do we
so
have
I got a bunch of little things. So Time Bond sent an email about the public education part of that ARPA funding. And he said that they're setting up a meeting with the consulting firm, who was it?
Capital Strategic.
Capital Strategic. And I said that the initial discussion went really good. And so So he says at some point in the near future, he wants to set up a meeting with one or some of the all the board, and Michael Ray Jeffries from the Selectmen, who's like a liaison guy.
Yep.
So he wants to set something up with them to coordinate, you know,
Okay.
how to do it, what to do. He wanted to do it before Christmas.
Okay, so up to the board, do we want to do it as a board or for ease, just impromptu?
I'm okay just impromptu doing it, and, you know, by all means.
But impromptu, we can't do it as a board without it being posted.
Correct.
So
So I think he's volunteering you, Mark, so.
that's what I was leading towards.
Yeah.
If it's only one of us, I think it's,
You could just have a
it's
conversation.
easier for Fran to schedule it every.
Sure.
So
Are you gonna be available?
I can be available, but if somebody else wants to do
No,
it, I'm not going to.
I'll try to do this with you.
okay.
All right, so let's say we get the time. Okay, we got this day.
One of us should,
You
Yes.
both want to come here? No problem. We'll throw a posting in all we need is 2 days to post it.
Yeah.
okay,
And not a big deal.
What if the three of us wanna come?
Post that too.
post it too.
If only one of us comes, we don't need to post it.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yep.
Okay, yes. Why don't we just do it that way, and we'll just,
Yeah,
I'll text you, John.
if there's more people,
And,
yeah, I'll
you know,
text
if we're
you.
both gonna be here, we'll,
Okay,
And then another thing, kind of different thing, I talked to Greg Corbo, he's a KP Law, specific to like easements and stuff like that. So I brought up the letter that came from the attorney from the Hickory Hills. And he said we have full rights to do whatever we want on their property, as long as it's specific to water supply.
Okay.
So we cannot purposely do anything to impact their views or what their
Sure.
vision of the lake is and stuff. But he said, if you need to do something for public water supply, it is what it is, and you're okay with it.
yeah,
So he went into a lot of details on a lot of things, I'm not gonna get into all that. But we do have the ability of, like, there is a vehicle there, we could tow it if we need to, and, you know.
yeah, I mean, I think we're working together now. Hopefully, people understand that, you know, we all have to work together.
That
so
was
we
his
can do it.
main thing. Just be open, tell him, and hopefully it never gets any of that. But he says, you know, but if it does, you know, we have some options.
Have you heard from anybody down there?
can you?
Fran, I had Fran
Can you forward me
contact.
that email, if you don't mind?
He's the Great Global one?
Yeah.
This was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
But
Alright.
he said he's gonna send me a very full detailed email for you guys.
Okay.
So you guys can see it. And then he said after the email, if you feel, after the email, if you feel that you want him to come to a meeting.
Sure.
Which I thought would be a good idea, that if he came, then you guys, whoever could ask questions, then he said he'd.
I mean,
If we're gonna get to that level, then, you know, I think I had Fran contact the president of the board down there.
Yeah.
And the response was really good. She was gonna notify they have a management company.
Oh,
That
yeah.
we would be down there.
sure, okay, yeah.
She mentioned, I don't know if they put cones out,
There's a couple down there.
she mentioned putting cones out so that we can have access. So, cause we're gonna be down there twice a day. and-
I feel like that
and I
whole
think
thing was
it's,
just
I
an
think it's,
isolated incident that it had nothing to do with anything. That's
I
what I'm,
hope so
you know what I'm
too.
saying?
yeah, so I think we're working together fine right now.
Okay. So only one more thing after
Yep.
that one. We had a Zoom meeting, me and Christie, with Baron and Bud, the class action lawsuit,
Oh.
the PFAS people. And so we were going through some numbers, we went through the wells, and depending on the capacity of the wells, determines how much your payout will be. I mean, there's just ballpark estimate numbers, but I think from 3M, we're looking at probably $2 million and about 200,000 from DuPont. So, he had me get, we pulled all the pump tests for every one of the wells, and he says, don't go by your permit pump rate, go by what this thing could pump.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
And so that's, I went through all of those, some didn't say a number, some of them did.
yeah.
And so I upped those numbers, so it's, I would say the actual amount received is higher than that, but we'll see how it goes though. But
That's good.
no timeframes on when this is taking place, but it's still moving ahead.
That's good. I mean, I think with that money should be allocated when it comes in to the remediation of PFAS, because we're gonna spend a lot
It
more
won't-
than that.
It won't be even near enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll cover the engineering for everything.
great.
20 million.
Mr. Woodward, you got anything?
No, sir, I do not.
Mr. Esposito?
Nope.
I'm good myself. You're all set? All right.
I'll make a, oh, sorry.
But nope.
No, we can't do that yet.
Yep.
Now we have public comment to close the meeting. Do we have public comment?
Yeah, question, Mr. Chairman. What happened with the audit that we had? And is it that we never received the bills from the law firm? Or we received them and we didn't know what to do with them? Or-
I think we did not receive them, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So they were either went to a
Junk
junk
email.
mail, or
Junk
they
email.
didn't send, there wasn't, there.
We
I'm
did
bad
not-
with this myself in business. I don't send statements on a monthly basis. I don't follow up personally on, I don't look at a report all the time. And I think this was a case where, eventually we were getting a little further out than what they would normally see. And they then somehow was alerted. I think with staffing issues that people have, that they're catching on to this stuff much slower than they have in the past. And I think that was the case, and
Well, you certainly can't pay for anything that you don't have a bill for.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, that's basic common sense.
Yep.
Yep.
But it surprises me that their systems are set up such that this could happen, so.
I think it's probably a staffing issue, like most, because people can't be on top of stuff as much as they used to because they're so understaffed. They probably weren't focused on this as much as they have in the past, as much as getting stuff done.
I have
I have the
since.
same concerns. I mean, I like getting paid. I know, like, when I can send a bill out.
Yeah.
I usually do. Now, paying a bill.
I've since reached out to this billing coordinator and our two contacts, Brian
Okay.
and Mark, and said, my name and number needs to be the contact, and it needs to be, not just the Loonwat email, my email. Send it to both. Then that way it's seen by him, it comes to me,
Correct.
so that hopefully this does not happen again.
Yes.
What piqued my interest was what I thought Fran said was that they sent an email and it was with somebody's name on it and you didn't know anything about it.
If it said KP Law on it,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, KP would kind of catch your attention. I think it had her name
Yeah.
and no real invoice due.
I just
You know what I
wanna
mean? You
make-
get your most things and it's like payments due, invoices due,
Yeah.
something's due, because, yeah.
Didn't
I
have a
just wanted to
subject
make
line.
sure that the audit wasn't screwed up and we didn't miss something.
No.
Nope, I'm working with the auditor right now. Are you talking about our yearly audit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually working with Mark Mueller right now and his assistant that he has.
Yeah.
And he is aware of it, and I actually just emailed him today
Yeah.
to confirm, and he is guiding me exactly how to do it, on
Yeah.
what day, how he can fix it, so.
I apologize for my outburst, but I care passionately about this place.
We all do.
I liked it.
We all do, Dave.
I liked it.
Well, that's good. That's good, but, that's fine.
All right.
I didn't say it, but I'm actually gonna count on Dave's side of this. You guys.
I agree,
Stand in front of you.
but, Mr. O'Brien has a right too, to ask those questions of us.
He's got a right to ask.
And I think putting the burden of proof on him, as we did tonight, is at least the way I felt we needed to act. I agree. I mean,
You kind of both-
we're all no.
We
And,
are.
there's no reason, well, I don't know how John is, but I know how Matt is, I know how I am. And unless there is a reason we have to, I don't see that moving forward.
Why don't you know how I am?
I don't know, how are you, John? Do you want to do a straw poll?
Do we have anything? Can we adjourn?
Yeah.
Well, on the KP Law thing, I made a call to Brian, the contact person, and it was really good. He had her name's Sharon. She's in charge of the easements, not easements, like RFPs for the cell towers, specific things to land acquisitions, like eminent domains, all kinds of stuff like that. She was talking to me, like going over deeds and stuff, and then the Greg Cobalt called, and then the Amy
Kessel, so yeah.
She called about the HAC stuff, and then it was like 2 days later, then
The letter came.
the thing came, and she called me the day on Wednesday before.
Yeah, it seems like, they have a lot of resources. We're definitely having to utilize the resources more.
They have
So.
specific people in this.
Yeah, in the fields.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
their segments,
Yeah,
especially.
did you read it? Like,
That was.
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a,
Did you have a headache after?
I had to keep rereading it. I'm like, am I stupid?
Yeah, all right.
So that was it.
I think we can,
Hold on.
oh,
I want to give Mr. O'Brien every opportunity to exhaust all his legal opportunities. That's what I'm trying to do. And he can't come to us at the end and say, well, you didn't let me do this, and you didn't do that. And let him do what he wants to do, because he can, by law, he can do what he wants to do, according to coming in here and sitting down. But I want to give him every opportunity, not that I'm for his project, Dave, all right? I want him to exhaust every opportunity, just like you would do if you were building the project. Okay, you would want every opportunity to get your point across. And then after you know your points are all determined and all turned down, then you would give it up. And that's what I'm waiting for.
all right,
I make a
Okay.
motion to adjourn.
All
okay.
right, I'm for
One
that.
last thing,
Oh, too late, jeez.
39 years on Saturday for him in the Water District.
You're that old.
Wow, this
So
last Saturday or this Saturday?
Coming
This
soon.
Saturday.
What's 39 years?
How long have I been here?
Anyways, now go ahead.
Well, what are you still?